Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here for Popternative, speaking to Asher Bishop about the Loud House on Nickelodeon. He, of course, voices Lincoln Loud. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
I mean, we're going to get into it. I mean, this is a really popular show worldwide, and people can't get enough of the Loud House. Let's be honest about it. But storytelling, acting, I guess did you want to always do this? Like, how did you get involved with storytelling and acting specifically, Asher?
I think acting, I've always had a passion for it, but what really took my career off was, I had a babysitter named Skylar, and she's like, "Hey, you have a great voice. Have you ever tried out acting?" And I was like, "That sounds like a great idea." So she took me to an open call of a Steven Spielberg audition, and I got 2 or 3 callbacks on that. And then from there, I booked Lincoln Loud.
Yeah, and then the rest was history, right?
The rest was history.
I mean, it's interesting because do you see voice acting a lot different than acting and stage acting or TV, or is it all storytelling for you?
I mean, most of it is all storytelling for me, but what's different about the two is that voice acting, you have to deliver all these emotions just using your voice. It's not like facial expressions. So I find that very unique, and it's challenging.
Oh, 100%. No, absolutely. And Lincoln Loud, I mean, such a coveted, iconic character. I mean, what is it like kind of being the voice of a character that all around the world people know and people love and people quote all the time? What's that like?
It's honestly a dream come true. To get to play a character like this, it's incredible. I actually see a lot of Lincoln in me. He's optimistic, he's, mischievous, and he's always coming up with the plans. And a lot of people do relate to Lincoln. And just to get to play a character like this is amazing. It's
pretty crazy too, because it's almost like the way the Loud House is on Nickelodeon is every episode there's so many different things and so many different kind of reactions.
So many things happening.
I know.
There's so many things happening.
It feels like you have to prepare specifically just for one episode, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, totally. There's so much going on. It's crazy, but I love it.
When did it start to kind of hit you that it's wow, I am part of something special with the Loud House universe?
Well, I grew up watching the show.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I booked the job, it was such a surreal moment. I didn't think it was real. Wow, this is crazy. But little did I know how big this fandom actually was. And I was going to get the recognition that it was honestly insane. This fandom is huge. And I was not prepared for that at all.
No, it's crazy. It's especially when you realize that the Loud House is available, Nickelodeon's available in a lot of different countries, right? So it's kind of over all these different time zones, right?
I was not expecting the fan art, the fan mail. I was whoa, this is incredible.
And to add to that a little bit too, not just with Lincoln Loud, because you answered that question. It's amazing. I mean, it's Lincoln Loud. But to be part of the world of the Loud House, where there's so many amazing characters, there's so many storylines, is that also really exciting on its own as well, being part of the Loud House rather than just Lincoln Loud in general?
Oh yeah, to just be part of this whole franchise, to be in one season and to be in the Loud House movie, it blows my mind. I'm so incredibly grateful.
It's so crazy. Is it also something too where when you get to voice a character like this, does it kind of feel almost like a motivational thing? Yes, you know what I mean? I'm doing Lincoln Loud. Does it pump you up when you go in the studio and do the voice?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I am every time I go in the booth to record an episode, I'm so pumped. I'm so ready. It's honestly a dream come true.
Is there preparation or mindset wise? You just kind of go in and do it. Is it just simple as that, basically?
Well, I mean, Lincoln has this sort of cadence to him.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of swagger, and he's don't worry, I got this sort of thing. So there is a little preparation, but
Yeah, no, absolutely. Besides kind of acting, storytelling, do you have any other hobbies and interests that you've specifically been getting into a lot lately?
Yeah, I mean, I love skiing.
Yeah.
Skiing is my number one. And I'd also like to do a little bit more of traveling.
Yeah.
And singing is
And
obviously.
you can see the Loud House fandom firsthand, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also love singing. Singing is one of my favorite songs. And actually on the show, I sang about like 7 songs, I want to say.
I know, it's crazy. Did you always want to do both then? Like I asked in the beginning of the interview, like acting, storytelling, but like, did you always want to be able to do both, or did it kind of just happen?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to do both.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't know that Lincoln Loud sings. So that's just like a +1. That's like a bonus for me. I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting too, where sometimes it literally just kind of happens. Like some people get into like singing and then they want to act, and some people act and then they see, American Idol on TV and they're like, I want to do that.
I want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy. What would you say is your favorite thing about voicing Lincoln Loud?
My favorite thing? Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, my favorite thing is that the bonds on set are just incredible. To work with these amazing actors like Grey Griffin, it's just honestly icon. She's incredible.
She's been on the show. I've interviewed Grey before.
Yeah, she's honestly incredible. Like just to work with these amazing actors, that's probably my favorite part. And how we feed off of each other in the booth. It's just chemistry is amazing.
That's a perfect segue to my next question, Asher. I mean, are there any cool kind of like Loud House like recording moments or set moments that you could share, or like is there anything that comes to mind specifically?
Oh yeah, there's so many, but like one that really stuck out to me was when everyone would be recording in the booth together. I'd be so afraid to like even make the slightest noise because I felt like I was going to mess their line up, and I know how that feels. So I would hold my breath. Like I would like just, and the director finally noticed and was like, Asher, it's okay. You can totally like, you can breathe now. I was like, okay. Like I'd be so scared to mess the other actors up. Like I would just, because I was so focused on this.
Does it also sink into that like Nickelodeon has this amazing kind of track record of like some of the greatest like animated shows ever made, basically? Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I remember I was going in for one session and then I saw Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, just walked out and I was like, whoa, you are my childhood. Like I was like, whoa, this is insane.
It is really, really insane. And, it's interesting too, because everyone always wants to know what's going on with the Loud House. And like the Loud House also like expanded recently. They have the Really Loud House, which is like crazy.
The Really Loud House.
There's so much Loud House content.
There's so much Loud House content out there. It's great. It's amazing. Like,
is there something that you are liking the most too about your kind of journey with this character specifically? Like every episode is something different and everything, but is it just fun to kind of like, you're playing Lincoln Loud, you're learning a lot of things as a storyteller, like the journey's been cool too, right?
The journey's been amazing. I remember before I even booked the job, I was doing so much studying, and I noticed that every single Lincoln Loud that's voiced Lincoln Loud has added their own spin to it. So I was like, what can I add? Like my own spin to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You definitely have added your own spin to it.
Thank you.
And I feel like now you said like traveling and skiing. We got to get an episode of Lincoln skiing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then we have to have
definitely.
And we got to see more. We got to see more Loud House family vacations. Can you imagine how they're chaotic?
That would be.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
But
that would be awesome.
Like there's so many cool places they could go to, but I just feel like I kind of like I feel like everyone would have a blast with those situations.
Oh yeah. And definitely like you were saying, every episode is something new. It's something crazy. Like,
yeah. And you were also recently nominated for an award for your work on this show. Yeah. Can you tell us about it quickly?
Yeah, I was nominated for an Emmy for this. The first Lincoln Loud to ever get nominated for an Emmy.
I wanted you to say it.
I was like, words can't even describe what was going through my head. Like I was overfilled with joy. I didn't think it was real until I checked the account. They were verified, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like,
well, you see what I did? That's gonna be a cool moment on the show now, where I'm just kind of like throwing you the fastball down the middle, right? I'm just like, you were nominated for an award for this, right? Like just casually, you're like, yeah, an Emmy.
I'm so incredibly grateful.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's amazing. It's amazing, man. Honestly, it's incredible. And I wanted to thank you for joining me on Popternative. This was great chatting, Asher.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so they can watch Loud House on Nickelodeon, which is great. So they can check that out. Your Instagram account is a really good spot for like behind the scenes and cool stuff too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is it just your name?
It's like, do I shout out my Instagram? Do I like?
It's like Asher Bishop or something, right? Or
Yeah.
they'll find you.
They'll find it.
Yeah, just Asher Bishop.
Just Asher Bishop official something.
Something they'll find it. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, of course, this is Asher Bishop who voices Lincoln Loud in the Loud House on Nickelodeon. Until next time, this is Asher and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.